Well, I got the bike out there. I'm going to give you some bike cleaning tips because there's a cheap ways of doing stuff versus buying all these ridiculously expensive, freaking stupid products these biker shops sell you. And my cat, I thought they were going to run out of here. I hadn't took this bike out in a long time. He was under here, Onyx. He was under here, no problem. There's paws down there, a little white belly and white feet. And Mama Cat didn't even move. That's cool. Here's the hint. Paintbrush. You can use a sponge too. I mean, like, they got sponges that have like the chamois on them and stuff. But this, the paintbrush has always been, this thing cleans a lot better than a sponge, and it's soft. You can get, this is not an expensive brush or anything. You can get a small one, like a 1-inch brush and a 4-inch brush too, instead of just a medium size. But it loosens up the dirt way better than just a sponge, without screwing nothing up. It's very, just don't use the metal part, of course, And what I like using is Awesome Cleaner, which is from the dollar store. LA Awesome. It's like, I think that bottle is like $1, or maybe a little over $1. And this is like the big refill bottle. I think it's $2.79. Works better than anything. You can also put protectant on some of the rubber stuff, but watch when don't put it on your seats and stuff. I mean, your seat is what holds your butt in there. And also mix sometimes with the Awesome, a little bit of regular detergent, but usually you don't need it. And one other thing, I don't like anything that's like the mirrors and everything from getting fogged up. And also like your goggles or your face shield, put some Pledge on there, just regular, and it doesn't have to be this brand. It could be, actually I think it's the cheapest stuff going. I'm almost out of this. I think there's some new cans inside, but it keeps them from getting fogged up. Like your face shield and your goggles, they fog up, and sometimes they get minor scratches on them no matter how well you clean them. Put some Pledge on there. Don't go pledging the hell out of the freaking bike. Like, don't go pledging gas tank and all that other garbage, where your knees are gripping. So, I'm not gonna show you everything I'm doing, but I'll show you one other trick. What I do, I haven't messed with this. I'm a little more inspired to riding a bike again because I should be getting in the SCVMC, which is Sons of Confederate Veterans Motorcycle Club, or oh, wait a minute, no. MC means, that's right, it means Mechanized Cavalry. They're not, they say, well, in a way it's a club, but it's not really a club. It's kind of like an informal organization dedicated to, spreading the word about what the Confederacy really fought for. I guess it could be argued that it's a club, but I'm not. I think I'm going to get one single rocker that just says freedom. That's it. It's not going to have battalion or anything like that, because I want a message, what the flag stands for. And actually, I got up in the front here a little Confederate flag here. Should probably put a couple more of these zip ties on there. That actually is a little bit of a wind blocker. And what we got coming for this is, I don't know if it's going to fit. It should fit. I'm going to start going to the gym, even though they're playing that Tutti Frutti music over there. It's aggravating the crap out of me. That's why I didn't go. When I was in really good shape, I can ride this Sportster, hundreds of miles on the interstate, and I know it used to wear me out because you're out there in the wind, 75 miles an hour. I don't give a crap. That stuff wears you out, man. So, but I got a windshield coming from National Cycle. It's polycarbonate with the coating, and it's not that big. It's probably going to just be like this. It's not like a full fairing or nothing. It's just one, and it's got a 4-point mount. This damn thing vibrates like crazy. And I don't, it's amazing what people are so fucking. This thing's got a swing arm suspension on it. And the handlebars are rubberized, you know, there's rubber mounts right here, you know. So, I mean, this is insulated. I mean, the engine's solid mounted. Okay, whatsoever. I mean, it really never bothered me. The risers, I think they're 6-inch risers, you know, they work fine. It's a comfortable bike, and it's got the bigger tank. It's an 89. And, you know, it started out as a plain, the simplest, cheapest 883. It's a 1200 S&S bottom end, balanced for high RPM. It's got some head work in it. It's got the Baisley oversized stainless steel titanium nitrated valves, the RevTech springs and push rods, Andrews V4 cam, heavy duty clutch. It's different gearing so it can cruise on a highway better. A little oil cooler in there. It's got this performance ignition system. That's about, and the carburetor is stock, but it's got the Dynajet. It looks real super stock, and it's not like it's really, you know, it's stock everything, you know, forks and rake and all that shit. Nothing's changed there. The engine's not stock, but it's, you know, it's very stock appearing, but it's got enough. You know, it kind of aggravates me sometimes. People go, "Oh, Sportster is a half a Harley," and I was like, whatever. It's like 465 pounds, 74 cubic inches, and it's a 4-speed with a chain. So, as people say, it's a 4-speed instead of a 5, and it doesn't have, I mean, God, man, why these people freaking just shut the fuck up? You know, and I haven't ridden in a long time because I actually rode it a lot. Mostly the first 10 or so years I had it. And, you know, I rode it in lots of crazy weather and shit. But over the years, I stopped riding it less and less and less. But I'm more motivated to ride it now because, you know, Sons of Confederate Veterans, probably riding. Not necessarily, you know, probably just an independent, probably have that circle patch with, if there's a rocker, it's just going to have the English word freedom. Because I want people to understand what the flag means. So we'll get on to how I lift this bike up, which is super simple. And I got to find the key for this damn thing, which is on this water chain here. I know it's for that. And I got the other lock up front. And I got like a cable lock that you can quickly just loop it through here and tie it to a pole. So it's not that easy for somebody to just do a grab and run, you know. It's one other thing I hate about riding this thing. I'm always afraid somebody's going to do a grab and run. All you got to do is get a pair of bolt cutters and a wire, and then push it and put a jumper in the back behind your ignition key, and you're gone, man. You say, ooh, you know. Bikes, no matter what, if it's easy to do, they'll grab it. So that's one thing I don't like about, you know, bikes too. You got to leave them out in the parking lot while you're someplace. You can't trust anybody, period. Nobody at all. And it's a shame, even the biker world is like that all over the place. Because I'm not a rule freak with a lot of, you know, government rules and shit. But it gives justification to the rule freaks and more government control every time somebody does something wrong. You know, any kind of conflict that happens. That's why I try to avoid conflict, because it just gives more job justification for the people that are out there looking for people that did something wrong. And that's a money racket, big time too. So, going off in a little bit about things, I'll tell you what, you know, how I lift the bike up, and you can paintbrush, man. I mean, paintbrush, dollar store cleaner, awesome LA pledge. Don't go pledging the seat in a gas tank where your knees are, you know. You want to be sliding off the seat and stuff. It's not smart. Okay, so again, it's the LA Awesome from the General Dollar store, and you can put, you know, just a dot of, you know, dish detergent, like Dawn dish detergent, but this works way better. I found this for cleaning anything, engine parts, your kitchen appliances, whatever the hell you want. Use a paintbrush, or even on a floor in your kitchen. Try using a sponge or a mop. It doesn't work as well, And this paintbrush is a lot softer than a stiff bristle brush, yet it loosens up the dirt. You just go over it a bunch of times. Sometimes you just want to hold the end of it, and you can get different. I mean, it's not going to come out perfect, but yeah, I'll show you what it is. It loosens up the dirt way better than just freaking what do you call it? You know, just a yeah. So it was like that, and now it's like that, right? And if you were using a sponge, you would be sitting there all day. It wouldn't work anywhere near as good. And the other thing is, I just use a, see, this is off the ground, right? I just use it's a regular, it's off of a Toyota or something, you know. I don't know what the hell it was, you know, it was in the trunk of a Toyota. It's a good quality scissor jack, and the little slot, there's like a slit on the top of the jack. I put it right on the corner where that frame brace is, whatever you want to call it, down there in the bottom. That's a perfect way to lift the front tire, and you do it towards the back to lift the back tire. And it's like, you know, you don't have to lift it way high. You're just going to get the wheel off the ground, and you know, works fine. So you just go around. This junk, I can tell you, man, this stuff is amazing. Especially if you put maybe just that's quite a bit, but just a little bit of soap with it, or you know, it could be even just a hair of scouring powder. But the brush works. This paintbrush works way better than a sponge. It doesn't even damage anything, because you want to use a soft paintbrush. If you want to get the bristles working pretty strong, just hold the end of it like that, and you can get it in areas where a sponge won't reach. Now, I say, for instance, I wanted to paint this wheel, not the whole thing, but say I wanted to paint like in here, this silver or something or whatever. You can just you can clean it off with this stuff. Degrease it with, you can use starting fluid, for crying out loud, or brake cleaner or whatever, and put a piece of cardboard back in behind here and tape this off, and you can paint a section at a time and have the whole thing looking new without pulling the wheel off, if you're that fussy. But that gets to be a pain. I used to ride quite a bit in all kinds of crazy weather, and I got out of doing this too much, because you're wasting all day doing this junk. But I haven't rid this bike in a while, so might as well clean it up. But I like this Sportster because, well, let me put it this way. If you're riding with two people and you got gear, you're not going to fit, there's no room for stuff on here. If you got one person, you could fit gear, because you could use up that whole back seat. You could put, your Alice pack, your all-purpose lightweight pack, carrying equipment pack from the military, bungee cord down, and, you got enough. And plus with the saddlebags, you got enough. Plus you could even wear a little light backpack low on your body. You got enough room. If you're going 2 up and you're going for a long trip, I mean, the bike itself, if the engine's modified, and 74 cubic inches is not a slouch, and especially if it's got a cam in it, bigger valves and stuff, and the carb's opened up, other things, it's not a slouch. And you can gear it for the highway, which is the way this is. But if you're going with 2 people, you don't want a Sportster. But the other advantage is, if you got to pick this bike up, just say you're in a parking lot, or you got to back it up or something, it's a hell of a lot less crap. Or say even if you got to push it somewhere out of an area that could be dangerous for, a number of reasons. It could be cars, people, or whatever the hell it is. You can you know, you can push this bike. And you could try pushing a 1,000-pound bike, you know. It's like pushing a damn car. Have fun. I mean, you know, the way to get the bike up is you use the front brake. Actually, that's how you get it up. You know, when you're pushing it, you hold the front brake down, and then you start compressing the fork, and you use the brake like it goes up a lot easier. There's a trick to it, but still, if the bike weighs twice as much as this damn thing, have fun. You ain't gonna be getting that shit up off the freaking ground heavy, you know. So I mean, you know, I like the Sportster, but like I said, if I was, you know, just me, I guess riding it really long ain't a problem. But if you're going 2 up, yeah, you really don't. I mean, you could do it, but it's not gonna be as much. It's gonna wear you out, man. I don't mind the vibrations. What I mind is if you're going down a turnpike, and I mean, if you're not doing, I'm not talking like 60, 65. You're doing like 75 or even 80. After a while, that wind will wear you out like crazy. So, you know, that's why I'm getting a windshield. I don't know if I'm going to leave it on there or not, but I know with the windshield, you'd want to put the pledge, but also, hi Feather, no mama cat. Also, you know, I just got this stuff a little while ago because I heard all these good things. I heard about these products before, the 303 UV protectant, because I heard the polycarbonate windshield, it doesn't crack, but it could get yellow. Like the acrylic could break, but doesn't get yellow as easy, or it polishes out better. But I figure once I get that windshield, it's probably going to last a gazillion years anyway. I'm pretty cheap, you know, that's what's another thing too. Your Sportster's cheaper, right? But I'm telling you, this bike does have, the Sportster does have a lot of good advantages in a lot of other situations. When I sat on the big ones, it felt like, you know, I'm sitting on a freaking horse saddle. It's like your legs are weighed out and shit. This one feels like your legs are further in, and to me it's more comfortable. But, you know, this would definitely not be, you know, I mean, the bike itself would do it the way it is, but, you know, if you had 2 riders on this thing with that little seat and gear, where the hell are you going to put this stuff? Where are you going to put it? It could be done, but that's the main drawback from the Sportster. But you don't need it, you know. They're good bikes, though. I can't knock them. But, you know, like I said, motorcycles can nickel and dime you to death. And I just want to put this one hint out here, because all those BS professional cleaners these people sell, you know, in the bike shops, I mean, this dirt's been on there a while. But, you know, I'm going to get most of it off. You don't need them. You don't need them. This cleaner works better than Simply Green. Way better. Way better. If I added a little bit of scouring powder to it, it would be a little more abrasive too. But I think some of this is just, you know, corrosion coming through there or something. You know, this ain't no show bike, that's for sure. But it's easy to get. You know, it's easy to clean everything with this thing, see? Try getting in there with a sponge, you know? It doesn't scratch the chrome. This is a very soft brush. Very soft. So, and after, you know, you can put the pledge on this thing, like the cam cover and the sprocket cover and stuff. Just don't, you know, I don't like pledging the gas tank. I don't like pledging the seat or the air cleaner cover, because my leg goes over that, you know? So you can pledge this. Hang the beach, Hildebeest. Anyway, over and out. And I gotta find I should have my other key. I used to carry all these keys, and you know, I had this thing wrapped around there so they don't fall out of ignitions because the key lock is so old. This is a lot lighter, and I got the CPA firm work keys, my house key, the bike key, the one lock. There's another lock for that one in the back that's on here. I gotta find it and put it on here, and I just hooked this around the choke, so it can't. The key, if the key actually did fall out, it would never lose. It's got this little car bringer thing, whatever you call those things. So I know how to do things cheap, and you know, I hate this sales pitch garbage they're freaking throwing out there all the time with, you gotta buy this bike and blah, 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 blah. You know, I like this bike. I know the real problem with this is if there was two riders. I mean, yeah, I used to take a nice lightweight female back when I was in California around all the time. I think she didn't weigh 100 pounds. That was nothing. She liked to ride. And also over here, yeah, in Florida, back in the 90s, I used to pick this one up in near Zellwood. And she was a lightweight one. And, but, you know, I wasn't going on these trips, you know, out of state and all this kind of crap. I mean, if you're doing that, I mean, yeah, the bike would make it. You know, two people on this, I mean, you know, maybe with a windshield, the wind would be okay. But where the hell are you going to put all your gear? Where are you going to put all your, you know, sleeping gear, your little tent? Where are you going to put all that stuff? Some cooking utensils. Crap. I mean, my saddlebags are full with rain suit, that extra cable lock, I think an extra headlight, a couple tools, a little Marvel mystery oil. I don't know what the hell's in there, some crap like that. My little cat. Oh yeah, Fix-A-Flat. Oh yeah, I got Fix-A-Flat, a tire repair kit, a little tiny mini bicycle pump, just if I could put a plug, if a Fix-A-Flat, see it didn't work or something, I got a plug kit with a real small bicycle pump. Now I'd have to pump this thing I'd have to probably pump it like 5,000 times or some crap to pump this tire up versus a bicycle tire, but it still could be done. I have plugged this rear tire on the road a couple times. So, you know, that's everything I got in those saddlebags was some stuff I actually needed for something. I'll have like a little screwdriver, a pair of vice grips, small vice grips, needle nose ones, one of those gator wrenches on a stubby. They're pretty much just in case something comes loose. You know, it doesn't happen often, but every once in a while it does. That's what's in this bag. So if I was carrying gear to go overnight, I'd have to use the whole back seat, and what I do is I use the Alice pack, and I put the arms, you know, it goes around the shoulders. I put them around here, and I use this bungee cord, and I tighten down those shoulder straps, so they're wrapped around the headlights, and the bag goes back here. But that's fine for me. I mean, this bike will work for me only on going on a long trip. It will not work for two people on a long trip that you're going to be camping out overnight. It'll do it physically, but you're not going to have no room for gear. I got an LED plasma light for this thing because plasma light, I had the bulbs, they don't fit this thing. It doesn't fit in the socket unless you modify the socket. I didn't want to modify it, so I got another one coming. I got an LED headlight, and normally I don't use the headlights that much. You're supposed to, but I try to save them for later. But what I find in the daytime, these are just the regular headlights, not special. You know, it's not one of those high intensity ones. But I'll use the high beam during the day because if the high beam burns out, I still got the headlight for at night, because I've come across that problem. Usually it doesn't burn out, it vibrates to death, even though they're motorcycle lights. And you know, I think it's because it's a Sportster, it vibrates more, and you know, they break the headlight after a while. So I got an LED one for that coming, and the windshield. I don't like the windshield, but maybe it'll look alright. It might look alright. It's not, it doesn't have like an X in here and all this shit. It's just a plain windshield that comes up about like this, and it's, you know, it's not tinted, and it's not real big, but it's not a fly shield or nothing like that. You know, also even this polishing shit, I found if you get the buffing wheel on here and a little bit of Mother's or something like that, you can just even use, you know, it doesn't have to be, you know, Mother's car wax or something. It's got a little bit of abrasive in it. This stuff will polish up really good. But I'm just going to clean it off with a freaking, what do you call it? And then this furniture polish, the aluminum shit and the chrome, except with my body stitch on it. And I like putting the bigger Dynaglide filters on there, even though somebody goes, "Oh, that looks stupid." I don't really give a shit. I'm all about function. And I personally don't like highway controls. I mean, I like the pegs in the front because I get sick of putting my feet over there, but normally I like where the stock controls are. That's me, you know? So, whatever. I don't know why, you know, I just don't like highway controls, man. I mean, I at least like the way this stupid thing is for me. It works fine. And I know I got critics out there telling me, like, yeah, thank you. Over and out. So to sum it up, Sportsters do have some serious advantages. I mean, you know, they got their place, and they'll run the long haul. And if you're an individual rider, you can still carry plenty of gear on that back seat with a, you know, a big backpack with the shoulder straps around the lights back there and bungee cord down. You got plenty of room for gear. You can ride it 2 up, but if you're going a long distance and you're going to be going overnight with gear, 2 up on this bike, it's possible, but that's where it's going to suck. But I never minded the vibrations that the engine's solidly mounted. I mean, the bikes used to be, you know, they had a rigid frame in the back. The handlebars used to be rigidly mounted, and the bikes themselves were heavier with, I don't know, iron heads, all iron cylinders, and they vibrated a hell of a lot more way back in the day. They had less power, so they couldn't be geared as good for highway, and nobody bitched about that stuff. You know, and all of a sudden, because you know what it is? People just like to talk shit. That's another reason I said, screw this bullshit. But then, with the SCV MC, Mechanized Cavalry, that's cute, Mechanized Cavalry versus Motorcycle Club. I didn't think of that, but this anyway, you know, I think those guys are going to be cool. And I heard everything's cool with that shit, so, and I'm not going to be wearing any rockers except for one word that says freedom. So we're going to be cleaning this damn thing up. I'll probably be taking it out a little bit today. And I think it's 32 pounds of air in the front, 36 for one rider, 40 for 2 riders in the rear. I mean, nothing's fucking screwed up on it. It's got a new O-ring chain, new sprockets. The engine's in really great shape. I mean, this was all redone back in San Marcos, California years ago. It's not many. It's probably only got 20-something thousand miles on it since that engine was done. And, you know, I did ride this to work one time for 6 months straight, which was 134 miles round trip. And I got caught out in severe rainstorms with it. So there was times in the past when I was considered a fairly serious rider. No more. Got rid of the phony bullcrap. But if it's going to be for the Confederacy, I'm going to be riding a hell of a lot more. That's really what motivates me more now than the bike itself or the Harley. It's really the Sons of Confederate Veterans organization. That's what motivates me right now to ride. Not this stuff. Not this Harley Davidson blah 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 crap. You know what I mean? Over and out.